I'm not even going to say hello, Colts Nation.
No, it's just
Instant reaction.
who cares? Instant reaction. Pathetic. Absolutely unbelievable. The Indianapolis Colts, I think Monday Night Football put up it on the header. They were 120-0 since they have moved to Indianapolis with that 16-point lead in the fourth quarter, and now they are 120-1. Just an absolute. Even it feels almost like one of those losses that I don't know emotionally. I don't know how you kind of bounce back off of that. Like you really and truly, and I don't say this very often, you outplayed them in this football game, and you still lost. Now you could say, well, we didn't outplay them, we didn't stop them when we had to. Our offense did everything they had to do in that football game to win that football game. Missed extra point, blocked field goal, missed field goal, and if he makes one of those three, it doesn't matter what combination, it doesn't matter any of that. We win that football game. It's just that simple. But here we are. We're 1-4, and we've dug ourselves into a hole. And this was it's the craziest part for me, Stephen, is it's by far the best we've played football all year long up until that fourth quarter meltdown. We had practice squad guys out there playing football against the Baltimore Ravens, and just like any smart coach would do, he took full advantage of that and just exploited it. And for whatever reason, Matt Eberflus refuses to come out of man-to-man coverage. He's going to play zone and live and die by it. And today he died by it, man.
I mean, it's so frustrating. Me and you were talking the entire game. It was like they looked as good as they have looked all season through three quarters. The offense, truthfully, the offense outside of the special teams, and I'm in this place where it's like, man, I mean, I had a buddy of mine text me. He goes, well, Hot Rod's hurt. And my response was, I don't really give a shit. If he's out there, you make the kicks.
Yeah.
If you're good enough for Reich to put you out there, you make the kicks. But outside of that, the offense, truthfully, 4 quarters, the offense really did play as well as we've seen them all year. I think Carson looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Outside of, even watching, he had some balls that you're going to want back. But it's just, and when you look at our schedule coming up, you look at this and you say, you get a win here. You could probably notch a win against the Texans. And then you got Niners, who you don't know who their quarterback was going to be. You felt like, hey, you're going to climb up. You could climb up to 3-3, and then you're heading into that Titans game, and it's a big deal.
Sure.
And you're right, man. I mean, you outplayed them the entire. I mean, Lamar. Look, I laugh. I'm on the wagon that sometimes I don't think Lamar is that good of a quarterback. He looked great tonight. I mean, he had a couple of really big shots. I don't know. You talked about coming out of zone and going into man. How about put a man on the tight end for the Ravens? He owned you in the second half. He owned you the entire second half, and you never picked him up. And you're right. It was like body dropping after body dropping after body. I think Julian went out. I thought I saw him out. He was down. Xavier Rhodes went out. I mean, it was just dropping like flies.
It's crazy to me. The moment that Xavier Rhodes and Rodgers went out, it kind of simultaneously, like back-to-back plays. I mean, immediately Lamar Jackson throws that bomb to Hollywood Brown and gets the long touchdown. And you could say, I told myself in that moment, whoa, they're going to expose this, and they're really going to go after it. And then when I knew that we were going to have, it's just, I don't know, man. This is one of the toughest losses that I believe I've ever been a part of. I almost feel like in some ways I'm just crazy even podcasting right now.
I mean,
it's just.
Well, me and you talk about we pride ourselves probably on here of being able to formulate what we want to say. And we had talked for a while. We were like, hey, it's a Monday night game. We're going to both jump on here. It is like this is probably as raw as you see me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock my time. It's almost midnight in Indianapolis, and we're doing this to get it out. And it's like a punch in the gut. Like I was standing in the corner of my living room watching the hot rod kick at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it was like as soon as that happened, you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I was gonna try to pull up the stats and just give. Let's just see real quick. Carson Wentz, 25 of 35, 402 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like,
and I don't know the exact one. Can you tell me what was Taylor's? Taylor had almost 150 combined yards, I think.
Taylor
had a game.
Taylor almost had 200 yards. He had 53 on the ground, 116 in the air.
Pittman looked great.
Pittman had 6 for 89 again. Paris Campbell had his best game of the season. And then you look over and you look at Lamar Jackson. He went for 442 and probably threw for half of that in the fourth quarter in overtime. Mm-hmm. Honest to God. I mean, like
what was he, 35 for 40, something like that? I mean, something ridiculous. But it was a lot of dink and dunk.
37 for 43. And, how crazy and poetic is it that we are the team that stopped them from breaking the Pittsburgh Steelers' 100-yard rushing game record? They had 86 in the game and absolutely just torch us. And we had a couple plays on defense there where we got our hands on Lamar and just couldn't bring them down. Those one-handed type deals, just drape off of them. And you just didn't have those athletes. And those are the moments that you really wish you had a little bit more special of, edge rusher on your football team. They were serviceable. You were damned if you do, damned if you don't. You had Turay and Bannigu out there who are better edge rushers, but are terrible against the run. You got AQM and you got Tyquan Lewis, who are much better against the run, but are not quite as good of pass rushers. I just thought in a moment like that where, definition of insanity is, doing the same exact thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I just thought that Eberflus had to try something different. And for some reason, I know he switched up into man a couple times, but not really, especially in the red zone, because it really come down to the 2-point conversions. If you could just stop them from getting one of those 2-point conversions, you still win this football game. You didn't have to be really even good. Like, you just had to stop a 2-point conversion, and how big was that play where Leonard went for the swipe to knock the ball out again on Lamar Jackson? And he was just, dude, he was that close to fall.
It looked close to me.
He was down, man. When you saw the replay, I definitely think he was down. But
I can tell you all this. You're not getting a 24-hour breather after this. Next thing up will be the preview episode for the Texans. We will be moving on.
Yeah,
me and Zach will talk privately off air.
I need a
24 hours.
I need a 24-hour breather.
Well, it's tough, man. So, like I said too, is like I've been on. I'm going to say this. I've been on the whole thing of like I said. I don't know where I sit with Lamar Jackson. I mean, you even saw it on the broadcast tonight. Missing wide open throws, missing throws he should make. Carson did the same thing. Carson missed some passes, but at the same time, like you can't miss an extra point and 2 field goals. You're going up against a Super Bowl winning head coach and an MVP, whether what I think of him or not. Yeah. You're going up against one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
And one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, according to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, okay, I know he's hurt. I know it's his hip. If you're going out there, it's like I would say this with any other player. If you're going out there on the field, do your damn job. Make the kick. Make one of them. Just one. And I love Hot Rod. Just make one kick.
Yeah, if you make one kick, we're not talking about this at all. And, it just sucks because we literally did everything that we had to do in that football game, not once, but twice. Drove down the field to kick the field goal to go ahead. Campbell blocks it. What do? We respond with 37 seconds on the clock, go all the way down the field, get a guy into a manageable 46-yard field goal. just biffs it, completely.
And I'm not upset. I think George tweeted this out. Friend to the show, George Bremer. I think he tweeted out saying he'd have done the same thing. You don't have enough time to play for the touchdown. You play for the field goal. Play for the given points.
You play for the play to win in that football.
And you think Rod's going to make it? Oh,
yeah, and yeah, it just.
I don't know. It's so hard being a Colts fan lately.
Yeah, it's grueling. We'd love for you guys to light us up in the comments like you always do. You guys have been fantastic to us this week. Like, rate, review, share, subscribe. We're going to stick it out no matter what, man. We're going to keep on doing this podcasting thing just because we love interacting with Colts Nation. It's a rough time, man. It's just a rough loss, and I think we all just need to exhale. And I don't want to tell you tonight, if you're listening to this podcast, as we're actually recording it at 11:46 in Indianapolis. I don't want to tell you to get this bad taste out of your mouth. You deserve to be able to. This one's going to sting for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this one's going to sting probably, honestly, until the moment we go on the field Sunday against the Texans. Like, this one's different because you knew you played a really good team on the road. And you knew you played well enough to win, and you weren't just saying that. Like, you actually did the things that you had to do to go out there and win this football game. And
it's just, I'm with you. I mean, the best way to do it is, it's,
You got
stew in it for 24 hours.
You got anything else? I think we just wrap this one up, and guys, it is what it is, man. It's a bad night to be a Colts fan. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna sulk for about the next 2 days. So
I'm gonna go walk the puppy and then go to bed.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, like Steven always says, and I'll just do it this time.
I'm too angry. You do it.
Steven loves you, and I hate our field goal kicker, and we're out.